Welcome. What's
going on, everybody?
Welcome to another episode of the Adult Deck Podcast, the place where you come learn how to stack your cards against the game of life. I am your host, Ronnie Scott, and I'm here joined with my wonderful husband and co-host,
What's up, Shawty?
Mr. Peter Scott. How's it going?
It's going.
How's it going?
Yeah, chilling. Ready to learn whatever you want to teach.
Okay. So today we're going to talk about hair care and how...
No? Okay.
A little bit. You got hair. It's still hair care. So we're going to talk about hair care and different, we're just going to go over some different terminology that people throw out there, and different ways to help maintain and keep your hair as healthy as possible. So, I feel like almost no matter where you go, no matter where you look throughout history, there has been some sort of discussion or talk or happenstance about black hair care, black hair in general. And it's our roots, pun intended. It is, it is our history. It's our life. It is just everything that surrounds. It's a part of the whole black culture and black experience and just being a black person in general.
Right.
And it goes way back to during the transatlantic slave trade, where like women would put grains of rice in their cornrows to make sure that wherever they were going, their people and their families would be fed.
Okay.
And even so stuff from that to today, how more and more women are becoming more natural and getting more in touch with their roots.
I feel like this is going to be a long-running joke.
It is going to be a long-running joke.
Cool.
And it's just how women express themselves daily, whether it's with weaves, whether it's with protective styles.
Okay, yeah.
However you do it is how you do it. So I just wanted to bring a little bit of education in on the hair and the hair types. The more you know. And while black hair care has a plethora of different aspects to it, and we definitely won't be able to cover it all, we're just going to go bare basics. Yeah. I'm going to talk a little bit about my hair story and my journey.
It's going to get your feet wet.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just dabbling. So for me, majority of my life, my hair has been relaxed, which is I've had a perm. And other than special events, wedding, I haven't been in that many weddings, honestly. But other than special events, I can't even think of one because that's how rare I used to go to the hair salon and get my hair done. But it was always me, my sister, or my mom. And luckily, my mom, when she was in high school, she took cosmetology classes, so she learned how to care about hair. Mm-hmm. And then now that my sister is older, she went to cosmetology school as well. So me being around them and the three of us, it's just I've learned what to do, what not to do, how to do things from them. So
not everybody has in-house experts.
No, definitely not. But you can become an expert just because of what you do to your hair every day. You have a set routine, set products. Right? My cousin she definitely takes care of her hair. She experiments all the time, and I love it. So for me, I did my big chop and went natural, cut all my hair off back in March of 2017.
Okay. Yeah, that's about right. 2017. I feel like it was over.
2017. And then I let my hair grow out, dyed it just like the ends. I was very cautious about what to do. I was definitely that natural girl. I was like, I can't do this. I can't put heat in my hair. I can't do that. I don't want to do it
again. So I chop it off again, even though she did.
I did. So coming up on my 1 year natural hair anniversary, I straightened my hair and didn't take as much care as I needed to. So I had severe heat damage. I had severe heat damage. So I cut all my hair off again a year later in 2018. And then I haven't made that mistake. I've straightened my hair since then, but I've definitely taken safety precautions with like heat protectants and not putting too much oil in my hair and
That
things
makes
like
sense.
that.
Yeah.
So I've been natural for 3 years, big chopped twice. And I think I found a pretty stable routine.
Itching to cut it off again.
Always. So for me, it's like, what's the word? Cathartic? I think that's the right word. But like for me, it's just like a way to express myself. Like I said, I've always cut my hair around my birthday. Around my birthday is when I reinvent myself, so to speak. And I haven't done that for a while. So I think I'm gonna wait until like my 30th birthday and like cut all my hair off again. Because it's just, you grow and you change, and it's how I express myself. I definitely don't, and it's how you express yourself too. You keep a fade, you keep it low.
Yeah, I keep it low. I keep a fade. I went bald a few weeks ago, so I'm trying to grow my waves back.
Your hair looks so luscious and shiny, by the way.
Yeah, I keep it shaped up, but but honestly, I feel like black haircuts in general stem from societal issues. So, like growing up, you see people with dreads. For men, you see people with dreads. It's like, oh, cornrows. Oh, I want hair. I want to do that. I want to do this. But for me, being a Jamaican, dreads weren't really approved. In my culture, dreads are a part of a religion, Rastafarian. And with dreads, that comes with a lifestyle and image and things like that. So growing up in my house, that was out of the question. Cornrows were around gangsters and hustlers and thugs. So my parents not wanting their children to fall into the American stigmatism. It's like, we're just going to avoid all of that. So never got there. Probably had like a mini bush. It's not big, but that was probably like 2 weeks when my parents didn't feel like going to their barber. So that got cut back down. Usually growing up as a kid, it's a 1 all the way around. It wasn't until I was like 15, 16. It was like, can I at least get a fade? Something. And then around 1920, when I moved away from college, is when I started. It was like, you know what? I'm put waves in my hair. I'm trying to keep my brushing alive, get that pattern in. And whenever that settled in, I kept that ever since. And really haven't went bald until last week. And that's just because, quarantine kept me away from my barber. And I haven't cut my own hair in a while since that day. So,
yeah. I was like, what? Almost a month ago.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah, so it's weird. If I cut my hair normally, like a fade, it'll grow back quickly in like 3 weeks, 2 weeks. I just kept it that way. Cut it recently, and trying to get back to that. It's a process.
It is,
and I'm not liking how long it's taking.
I think, in general, a lot of things that have. Excuse me. A lot of ideas around hair care has changed dramatically, whether it's on a naturalist front. So many women are starting to go natural and embrace their natural hair. And we'll get into definitions in a little bit. So it's I've seen a lot of changes between women caring for their natural hair and wearing that out and proud more often. Because like you said, there were societal quote unquote stigmas what's accepted. So like natural hair, it wasn't professional. You had to have your hair straightened, and braids weren't professional. Working in the office,
it's not professional,
right?
Or if they did allow it, then you had to make sure you like
kept it up. Like, yep.
They didn't want to see that 3 weeks later fuzz growing in, or new growth as they call it.
And it's crazy because even when I started my last job, I wore a wig for 2 weeks because I had like just cut my hair short again. Like I wore a wig for 2 weeks into the interview because it was like it's unprofessional. I didn't want, and it's so sad that like.
Question though, did anybody tell you?
Can I finish? Sorry, that came out really rude. I'm sorry, that did come out rude. Shut up. So, but I was gonna say it's really sad and disheartening. Not sad, but it's frustrating and disheartening sometimes where you feel like the way my hair naturally grows out of my scalp is deemed unprofessional by whose standards though. So, you were gonna say that's all
I was just gonna ask, did anybody tell you that was unprofessional?
No.
Yeah, you just made that choice.
I just made that choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Nobody has ever said, well, I mean, nobody has ever said, Sharon, natural hair is unprofessional. Mm-hmm. But just from what you see growing up people who get jobs versus people who don't get jobs, like TV. Things like that, you internalize that, and it's some unspoken rule of professionalism. But like I said, I think the beautiful thing about it now is that people are pushing against those standards, and they're saying, you know, this is my natural hair, the way it grows out of my scalp. Why do I have to manipulate it to be seen as professional and upstanding?
Yeah,
you know, it's
as
performative.
Good as a person of different skin color next to me.
Yeah. So we're just gonna.
Let me tell you, them boxer braids. Those are very professional. Cornrows though.
Cornrows are not professional, but boxer braids are. So let's get into some definitions just to break some things down and make sure you guys are understanding what we're talking about here. So natural hair. Natural hair is pretty self-explanatory. It refers to the way my hair naturally grows out of my scalp without any heat, any chemicals, without any type of manipulation at all.
I got you.
Just the way it grows. A relaxer, or some people call it a perm, but it's a chemical substance, a chemical cream that's used to make your natural hair bone straight. So it takes out all the curl, takes out the protein, and that's what essentially makes your hair curlier, the amount of protein that comes from it. But it strips all of that out to make your hair straight. And you have to get a touch up, and it damages your hair because it's stripping all of the protein and all the curl out of it.
Gotcha.
And a lot of women use it for a multitude of reasons. Some people just like their hair being permed. Some people consider it easier to manage that way. It's really just up to you. I don't shame anybody for how they wear their hair. Your hair is how you express yourself.
Yeah, it's your head. Do what you want with it.
So, if you want to get a perm, get a perm. If you want to be natural, wear natural. It don't matter.
It's just, I say if it's your hair and do what you want with it. It's just trends.
Yeah.
Get annoying real fast.
Really?
Just because you see everybody with the same thing, and it's just like.
That is sure the same hairstyle.
It's none of y'all different. No? Okay. But I say that, but then again, for a while, I wanted waves my whole life, and that was a thing. But I like myself because I don't do anything that's a trend until the trend is done.
Okay. Sometimes I play into trends. It's fun.
I just don't like looking like everybody. It's like when Galen had that like low fade high top, that bushy high top. I'm just like, what are you doing, kid?
I mean, but it's like style,
but I don't know. Maybe I feel like maybe I'm just getting old. Maybe that's it. Because I feel like Stevie works for him. He's young. He can do that. He can risk that.
Yeah.
Galen though is just like,
what are you doing?
You're like twice his age, bro.
Yeah, but a lot of people in Galen's age group were wearing their hair that way. A lot of men were wearing their hair that way for a while.
Trends are weird for me. That's all it is.
You're just old.
I've never been one to like roll with a trend though.
You've always been old though.
I have. That is not a lie.
So our next term is a protective style. So a protective style is just
braids.
Yes. Thank you. So a protective style is just any type of hairstyle that protects your natural strands from the elements. So having your hair in braids, how I have mine, individual braids, it's just so that my hair doesn't get dry and frizzy or doesn't get super wet, rather than like, it's easier to care and protect my hair when it's in braids versus when it's out in a bush and it gets tangled and things like that.
The hair's passing through it.
Right.
Drying out.
So, I mean, and there are a lot of things out there that can damage your hair. So even braids for too long. If you go braids without giving your hair a break, that can like damage your hair strands too. And
I ain't got hair, man.
and hair damage leads to hair breakage, which prevents hair growth. So like I said, I did the big chop, and the big chop is literally just like cutting all your hair off to whatever length the natural hair is. So it's literally cutting off the perm pieces. Mm-hmm. So some people like me are impatient. I'm very impatient. And I didn't transition, which is our next word. I didn't transition and allow my hair to grow out. I just grew it super, super short and then cut all the perm pieces off. So it was like 5% natural hair, 95% perm. And when it's like that, you do a big chop and cut all your hair off. But transitioning, which is our next term, is when you choose to stop getting perms or relaxers and you grow out your hair, cutting off the ends until it's all natural. So I don't know if you saw, but when my sister went natural, she had like a whole lot of curly hair and then like scraggly permed ends.
Yeah.
So... And then transitioning is very, it's a challenge sometimes because literally almost everything you do to your hair, because your permed ends are already so brittle and damaged, almost anything you do to it can cause those ends to break off anyway. Wow. So you have to be careful about putting heat in your hair. You have to be careful about dyeing it.
Having a daughter.
You have to be careful about all of that stuff. So transitioning is just like cutting the perm pieces off little by little until all your natural hair has grown out.
Ain't got to deal with that. Me.
And the last term that we're going to go over today is shrinkage. So.
I know what it is. It's hard to explain what I'm thinking of.
Just throw some stuff out there.
Go ahead.
No, I want to see if you could get it.
Nah, I'm on the spot. Go ahead.
Oh, I should have did that with all of them. So shrinkage is just the result of your hair that has dried without any additives in its natural state, and it shrinks up. Okay. So your curls essentially...
Yeah, that's where I was going.
Thank you.
Curls.
So shrinkage...
No, that's not it. Twist, nah. Curls.
Your curls. So shrinkage is when after you wash your hair, you just don't put anything in it, let it dry, and it draws up. So that is just a way of your hair showing how healthy it is.
Gotcha.
So while shrinkage can be severely annoying at times, trust me, I know. My hair is a lot longer than people think it is. But no, but like legitimately. And some different hair types have more shrinkage than others naturally. But your shrinkage is just the way your hair shows that it's healthy. So very healthy hair shrinks up really small because your curls bounce back. Mm-hmm. Whereas damaged hair, i.e. getting a perm, has no curls and no shrinkage because it's all damaged and straightened.
Gotcha.
So, kind of like I showed you, maybe I did, the back of my hair has a a lot of stretch damage from where I put it up in a high ponytail all the time. That's why I had to stop doing that so much. And like my curls up here would be super tight and super short, but down here it would be like longer and stretched out. And it's just a sign of your hair being properly moisturized and healthy with a lot of elasticity and minimal damage.
Okay.
We've gone over all of the different types of definitions and you know what to say, what to do, what these words mean. Now we're going to go into different hair types. So your hair type is determined by the type of hair follicle that you have on your scalp.
Gotcha.
And your hair follicle can have a multitude of reasons: hereditary, culture. I don't think culture is the right word. Ethnicity. That's the one.
There you go.
Ethnicity. A lot of different factors play into the type of hair follicle you have, but your hair type is a result of the hair that grows out of your follicle. So, for instance, people with more oval shaped follicles grow curlier hair, while people with straight follicles that look like a line essentially grow straighter hair.
Okay.
So your hair type is, so your hair type is determined by what your hair looks like when it's dripping wet. So fresh wash, no oils, nothing, just flat out hair. And your hair type is categorized by a number letter combination.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, for example, these are like your 4Cs, 4Bs, things like that. So, for example, people with type 1 hair is very straight. People with type 4 hair is very kinky and coily.
Gotcha.
So, sorry, Google heard me.
Special guest, friend of the podcast.
So, for example, type 1A is like just really simple, very straight. Type 2 is more so wavy, and then this is where letters start to come into play. So you can have a 2A, which is a very loose wave. It almost looks straight, but it's just like
wavy. Yeah,
it's a little bit of wave there. But 2C, you can definitely see the definition, the waves.
The curl, yeah.
So, and then type 2. Type 3 is hair that has very pronounced curls. So it can still be long, it can still be loose, but you can see the curls.
Okay.
The pattern. And then so essentially 3A is very loose curls, but 3C are very tight curls.
Gotcha.
And then you have your 4s. 4A, which is very tight curl, but it's like shorter. So the number refers to the type: wavy, straight, curly, coily.
Gotcha. And the
letters. The letter refers to how wide your curl strands are. So say if you're looking at it from an eagle eye view on a hair strand, with a wider hair strand or with a wider curl circle, that's where you get the A's.
I got you.
But the tighter
it is, the bigger the letter.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then you have 4A, 4B, 4C. So I think I'm a combination of 4B and 4C. Sometimes my hair is very kinky and doesn't have a lot of definition. However, there are other times, and again, it could be your water intake, what you do to your hair, things like that can determine your hair type. So I'm somewhere around there. So knowing your hair type is literally half the battle. You'll know what products work best for your hair type, which products don't, which products are too heavy, which products are not heavy. So the next tip that I want to give you all is to make sure you moisturize and condition your hair. So breakage what we talked about a little bit earlier. Breakage comes from your hair being super dry and it snaps off. Okay, so I know you don't watch a lot of SpongeBob. But have you ever seen the episode where SpongeBob goes to visit Sandy's dome for the first time?
Yes.
And he's like super afraid to tell her that he needs water. Yes. So he's like, pinky's up. And then his pinky just snaps off. That's essentially what your hair does when it's super dry. So your hair is like SpongeBob. It's like, water. But then, so then it gets super dry and snaps off, and that's where a lot of people have problems maintaining their length, maintaining, their health, the health of their hair.
Makes sense.
Right? So, of course, moisturize your hair. I like to deep condition. I get a really thick, because my hair has a tendency to be very dry. Right? So, I tried to get a very thick hair mask and hair creams. Hair mask. Mm-hmm. So
I know. I'm just going with it.
I'm trying to educate. So I wash my hair, put my hair mask on, leave it for like 30 minutes. I literally put like 6 bonnets on to like make sure the heat traps in there, because heat helps your hair absorb the moisture. Okay. It helps your hair strands absorb the moisture. So that's how I do it. I wash once a week, every Saturday.
When you feel like it.
When I feel like it, because sometimes I do be like, I don't feel like I'm gonna let my hair stay how it is for a week. So I definitely take time to moisturize and deep condition my hair, because that helps keep your hair moisturized, keeps the nourishments in it, and prevents that breakage. And also, don't forget to oil your scalp. I mean, no brainer. Your hair comes from your scalp, so if you don't have a healthy moisturized scalp
is skin.
It's skin.
If you lotion your other skin, you should lotion your head.
Yeah, but some people don't think of it that way. But yes. Next tip. Please beware of damage. Like I said in my hair story, I straightened my hair, didn't take all the necessary precautions, and I had severe heat damage.
Talk to the men in the 60s and 70s. They'll tell you about all them perm damages and them Jerry curls. Out here looking like Prince without Prince money.
Man, they had to get it how they had to get it. So, I mean, and it sucks, but you just have to be mindful. Just about everything can damage your hair. Blow drying your hair can give you heat damage. Flat ironing your hair gives you heat damage. Putting your hair in a ponytail for too long, that causes damage when you do it every single day.
About, man.
Mm-hmm. And so, like, for me...
Brush and go.
So like for me, I had really bad stretch damage because I would wear my hair in like ponytails and puffs, and I'm always pulling my back up and stretching it out. So I had really bad stretch damage, and I just trimmed it. It looks fine. I trimmed it. But literally, you're excused. I was trying to think of what to say after somebody said excuse me. I was like, you're welcome, but that's not it. So... And essentially, damage can be identified by your hair not having the shrinkage that it used to. So if you go to wash your hair and it's not shrinking up like it has in the past, you got some damage that you need to work on. And some damage can be reversed, but other damage, like severe heat damage, it can't. You might as well start over. And that's what I did.
Okay.
And this is not saying like, oh, don't ever put your hair in a ponytail. Like, no, you can definitely still rock your ponytails, your puffs. You can still flat iron your hair, rock your braids, do all of that. But just give your hair time to recoup afterwards. You have to like baby it back to health, essentially. And rock your protective styles. Me, I'm a protective style queen. I will put my hair in these little braids for 2 weeks and be good. Like, yeah. It is what it is.
Let me see if it's on the list.
Nah, it's
not. So Another thing that's probably grew up in the culture that probably needs to be overlooked because white people don't do it and they don't give two craps about it. Men don't care because we wear our do-rags out all the damn time.
Oh my gosh.
You say rock your protective style, but no black chick will walk out of the house with a bonnet on their head. That's a protective style. That's a do-rag. That's a do-rag.
It's a way to maintain your style.
That's a do-rag.
It's not a protective style.
You running out to the store real quick. It's like, oh, let me untake off my hair. Let me make my hair look decent so I can go out to the store real quick.
Absolutely. I do it so that if you want to be out in the streets in your bonnet, be out in the streets in your bonnet. But it's not for hair purposes. It's just you want to be out in the streets in your bonnet. Growing up, I was always taught that.
So, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I asked you a question. I should let you answer.
Growing up, I was always taught that you have to be presentable at all times, which is. It can go either way. It can be damaging or it could be affirming. It's a double-edged sword. It's a horribly double-edged sword. So as a result, y'all, I'm almost 30 years old and I rarely go out the house with a scarf or a bonnet on just because I was told that I had to look presentable.
So
and that
I'm gonna interrupt you. So
at least you told me this time.
Speaking to the black community, because that's really the only people I ever see do this. I feel like that's like a misnomer because one, black people don't buy umbrellas. So on a day like today, when it's raining outside, your average chick would go ahead and grab one of those thousands of plastic bags under her sink and wrap her hair up in it to protect it from the rain, and then try to hide and take it off before you go into the store. Well, you got to walk through the rain to get to the store. So
that goes into.
I'm an advocate of teaching people not to give a care.
Yeah.
Stop caring so much. Live your life. You'll be so much happier.
Oh, trust me. I'm starting to learn that. But it's very hard when there have been ideals and just an idea that it goes back to the whole professional versus unprofessional type thing. Like, it's not presentable to be outside in a bonnet because that's what you're supposed to wear in the house.
I guess.
So,
I can understand because, as a man, I have to kind of deal with that because, walking to a church, to the store, I can wear my do-rag all day, every day. But when I go into that Census Bureau facility,
then I had a do-rag on.
I might get looked up some type of way walking into the building with a nice suit and tie
and a do-rag. Nice button-up shirt and a do-rag that matched. It matched. I should be able to wear it. But it's not professional. You have to upkeep appearances. And I'm
about to make a do-rag part in the Christian religion, so they can't tell me to take it off.
Stop.
God said. Nah.
You ain't gonna say what God said if you ain't say it. So yeah, I forgot where we were going. Oh, protective styles.
I had to pad the run time for some reason. I felt the urge.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like this was about to be 15 minutes.
I mean, if it is, it is. We just getting stuff out to the people. And like I said, everything is a protective style. Your wigs, your weaves, your braids, your cornrows, your everything.
Bantu knots.
It just shields your hair.
Just throwing out things I've heard.
No, it's real life. A Bantu knot is a real life protective style.
See, I know stuff, y'all.
So it's just a way to, keep your hair safe and conditioned.
Just don't know how to use it.
I might do my hair in Bantu knots one of these days. And I like it because, like I said, it allows me to switch up my look. Like, a couple weeks ago, I got faux locks and was wearing those for a while. Yeah. And then, every now and then I'll get a weave and wear a weave for a little bit. It's just, you switch it up. And it's the pleasure of being able to express yourself in all the different ways, in all the different aspects. And last but not least, just be patient. It took me 3 years to get my hair to do what I really wanted it to do. And I'm still getting there.
Yeah, I gotta remember everybody different because Shorty was over here tripping when her sister's hair journey was moving a lot quicker than yours. Her cells don't English well, yeah. But yeah, her hair is different. 3 years later, look at it now.
I know, right?
Give her sister a run for her money.
I try, at least. We just try to make sure our hair is nice and healthy and protected. And I just wanted to share a little bit with y'all because there's a lot of people, I mean, just from male to female, there's a lot of people who I know what a protective style is and Peter doesn't. Or I know all the intricacies of taking care of my hair and what's good for it and what's not.
God forbid something happen and she leave me with a daughter. It's going to be rough for a while.
She's going to be good because she got a grandma and an aunt and another grandma and all these people to help take care of her.
I tend to forget there's like a plethora of females in your family.
A plethora of females in my family. Ain't that many in my family that live here.
They're all in Jamaica.
Oh, man. And also, I just think, like Peter was kind of getting to, I think we need to not judge people as much by their hair. Because, so for a little while, I was a natural elitist, I guess I would say.
Nah.
Definitely. I was like, I'll never get my hair permed again. What is that? Creamy crack? Nah, I would never. It's so damaging. But now I'm just like, wear your hair how you want it. Like, I've had several times where I've been like, I'm just perm my hair again just because I want to. Like, it's, you do things because you want to do them, not because you have to keep up appearances, not because it's professional or not. If they gonna fire you, go ahead and get that money and sue them for discrimination. I'm just saying. Just do you. Wear your hair how you want to wear it, color it how you want to color it, express yourself.
Express yourself.
I wish we could have like theme songs.
They have to be 25 years old, or is it 30 for a free source?
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna find some songs that's like 30 years old. I feel like you'd be surprised at what's out there.
You'd be surprised.
Do you take care of your hair as long as what's healthy and what's working for you is what's working for you. Don't feel like you have to change it up because somebody else said so or somebody else did this and it worked for them.
Yeah, and brothers, although I said what I said earlier, don't think you're too old for any type of hairstyle or too young for any type of hair. If you are 7 years old and want a professional fade, get a professional fade. Let your kid get a professional fade. Let's say that. And if you're 35 and you want a haircut that a 14-year-old is wearing,
they'll wear it.
It might not be my cup of tea, but go for it.
That's none of your business.
Go for it. Go for it.
So
if you bald, rock it. There's nothing wrong with being bald. That is a hairstyle.
Yeah, that is a hairstyle because that takes maintenance and care. And definitely don't look at hair care. I look at it as self-care. Me doing my hair and wash days. I think of that as self-care because it's me.
That's a job. Anytime
it is. Oh, and my arms be hurting.
Do work. And it's work.
It is.
This lineup doesn't stay straight by itself. And oh boy, I hope I ain't drink nothing that day. I can't be seen looking like this.
Oh my gosh.
I try to straighten up my.
Definitely just express yourselves how you want to. I can't think of anything else to wrap up. So.
Bullet points.
High
level bullet points. What you want to leave them with? What do you want to make sure they remember?
I want to make sure you remember that your hair is an extension of you. Mm-hmm. I want you to remember to take care of your hair and find out what process works for you. Mm-hmm. And to be patient because your hair, you're going to get frustrated. You're going to feel like it's not growing and not doing anything. Just be patient. It's going to get there eventually. It may take 2 or 3 or 4 years, but you'll get there. You'll hit your goal. Slowly but surely. Yeah. You'll win the race.
And don't forget to lotion your head.
Yes. Or oil your scalp.
Lotion your head.
I had to teach Peter how to oil my scalp.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, all right, I want you to do it like all the time now. Because now that I got him to do it, I ain't got to do it. It's great. So that has been another episode. We hope you take these hair care tips with you, learn to use them, share them with somebody, and just rock your crown how you want to rock it.
If you have a melanin deficient partner and you want a crash course in something, this would be a good video to show.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that. Yep. What he said. He's a smart one.
I always think about other people.
You do. That's why I keep you here.
Either way, it's been real, y'all.
We'll talk to you later. Bye.